I am Thuy Trần, the host of this series. Today, on episode number 1, Professor Christian Herzig talks about the book Environmental Management Accounting Case Studies of Southeast Asian Companies. Professor Christian Herzig, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Thuy. It's great to be here.
Could you please share with us the motivation for writing the book?
Between 2004 and 2008, we developed and implemented a blended learning program on environmental management accounting, EMA, for Southeast Asia, so in short, EMA-C, in which more than 1,400 people from Southeast Asia participated. The German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, BMZ, funded the program through Invent, Capacity Building International, which is now GIZ. And our main regional partner at that time was the Asian Society for Environmental Protection based in Bangkok, Thailand. At that time, I worked at the Leuphana's Center for Sustainability Management with Professor Stefan Schaldegger. He was the director of, or is the director of the center, and Tobias Viere, who's now a professor at the Institute for Industrial Ecology of the University of Applied Science in Pforzheim, Germany. In our program, we conducted a series of information workshops, training seminars, and internet-based courses for managers, engineers, consultants, and representatives from governments, local authorities, and academia. We had more than 1,400 participants, and out of the 1,400 participants, we trained 75 or 76 to become local resource persons through our workshops. We also accompanied them at the beginning of their own seminars and own dissemination company projects on EMA in their home countries. To support our training, which was, by the way, based on a project casework approach, and also to add in developing training materials, we carried out several case studies in the 4 target countries from Southeast Asia. That was Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. The fieldwork was conducted in close collaboration with Professor Roger Barrett, who is currently an honorary professor at the School of Environment at the ANU, the Australian National University. Subsequent to the program, then, we continue to follow up the implementation of EMA tools at the partnering companies, and finally included 12 case studies, three from each country, into a book that Routledge published in 2012. And one could say the book is both a supplementary teaching material, because it illustrates the use of EMA tools, and it is a contribution to research in the field of EMA, as we analyzed both the motivation for and barriers to the implementation of clusters of EMA tools at the corporate level, as well as the implementation process itself in the context of different cultural, social, and institutional environments.
Can you talk more specifically about the findings of these cases?
EMA, environmental management accounting, is a concept for managing sustainability at the corporate level. So it comprises a set of accounting tools and methods, and can improve managerial decision-making by taking into account both environmental and economic performance criteria. Our cases describe various applications of EMA tools at companies of different sizes. More of half of the cases belong to the agriculture and food sector. We have also other cases which come from textiles, paper, and so on. Across cases, we examined the use and relationships between EMA tools to enhance decision-making, revealing EMA patterns that consist of the combined and iterative use of physical and monetary EMA tools, of EMA tools which are past and future-oriented, of short and long-term focused EMA tools, and EMA tools that provide information on a regular and on an ad hoc basis to decision makers. I guess some of these tools are well known to listeners, such as life cycle analysis, LCA, environmental cost accounting, or environmental investment appraisal. So, in other words, there is no generic approach to make use of EMA. And while several cases in our book show the usefulness of a key approach to EMA, covering material and energy flow accounting and cost accounting, as well as investment appraisals, and as such, somehow they echo the structure of the ISO 14051 standard on material flow cost accounting, MFCA. We can also see various other uses and implementation patterns of EMA, depending on the respective decision settings of individual companies. This means any promotion of one EMA method or a limited choice of EMA tools has become too narrow a focus because it does not take into account the different rationales, motivations, and decision situations leading managers to implement EMA. So instead, our case studies show that a thorough analysis of the decision situation and a reflection on goals, motivations, and rationales are needed to design valuable and applicable EMA patterns that best support managers in their desire to achieve individual and corporate goals.
Thank you very much. I believe that this book provides valuable resources for many researchers, organizations, and students as well. Could you give us some examples to show where companies benefited from EMA?
Let me give you a few examples. We have a case study at a snack producer in the Philippines called JBC. That case demonstrated the MFCA implementation could accelerate business performance by providing information and insights into efficient technologies to reduce annual costs. At the time of the case study, JBC benefited financially from assessing the financial drawbacks caused by machine downtime. With the help of EMA, the company has basically realized the value of evaluating material losses in its production process. Another example is the EMA adoption at Saigon Beer, a beer producer from Vietnam. The approach has helped here identify drivers of environmental performance and related costs. So our EMA pilot project provided the company with insights into several improvement options related to their environmental management systems, as well as their production and supply processes, by setting environmental targets and implementing respective measures. And maybe a third and final example, in the case of Oliver Enterprises, a family-owned rice milling business in the northern Philippines. Here, EMA helped confirm the economic advantages of strategic investments into a new environmental technology and assets, which helped reduce costs and increase revenues. So these investments, they addressed the carbonization of rice husk, which is a processing alternative to reduce environmental and social risks, to improve the overall performance of the rice mill. And they were really helpful to reduce and prevent cases of burned hands and damaged eyes, basically among people digging for rice leftovers in the burning rice husk heaps.
Given your examples, it is evident that EMA offers many benefits. However, I guess that it is challenging to convince these companies to apply EMA. What are the reasons for using EMA in practice?
Well, often the reasons for conducting EMA are related to the business environment and success factors that managers need to address. There are specific characteristics of the environment and institutional settings that can support or discourage the implementation of EMA tools. These include economic, social, cultural, technical, ecological issues, and also institutional arrangements such as political power, regulations, and governing and self-governing structures. Economic rationality worked as a driver for EMA implementation in a high number of cases, at least in our cases. So economic efficiency is a core motivation for top management, as well as for internal stakeholders, including production managers, product developers, and many others to apply EMA. We had also other cases. In these cases, technical rationality was the initial driver for environmental measures, and environmental effectiveness was a decision-making rationale when environmental and quality managers were the primary users of EMA. EMA then helped basically to understand the environmental advantages of a new technology, as I described before in my example of the Philippine rice mill and the decarbonization of rice husk. Interesting to observe was also the role of the EMA in providing information to local environmental authorities concerning expected environmental impacts, planned improvement measures, and also monitoring processes. Our book really has pretty classic examples of the relationship between external demands for information, often from local government, and the need to gather such information for reporting purposes. Maybe finally, also our study shows that promoting an EMA-based information strategy can indeed help policymakers design a balanced policy mix. So it can complement basically command and control regulation, which is often not effective in emerging economy countries.
Environmental management accounting definitely offers many benefits. As a lecturer, I think this book is amazing. It provides a good source of reading text for students. I want to share with you two comments from students who read your book. The first student commented, he would really suggest reading the book. All the cases were very helpful and even helped him to gain a better understanding of EMA. The second student shared that when she was reading the case study of JBC company that you mentioned before, she was motivated to develop MFCA software in her home country, Nigeria. Before ending this episode, can you share with us your feelings when hearing of students' opinions about your book?
Well, of course, I'm pleased to hear these. We have often had positive responses to our case-based teaching when carrying out the capacity development program in Southeast Asia, and also later as a lecturer in sustainability accounting and reporting at the University of Nottingham and back home in Germany at various universities. Students really have enjoyed the practical insights, the case-based role play, and also the group work in small teams working on various tasks and exercises relating to our teaching cases.
Thanks a lot for joining in this episode, Professor Christian Herzig.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure.
In the next episode, we will talk with a well-known researcher in the field of EMA. He will share with us his experience with a framework for EMA and potential for EMA application in practice to solve global environmental challenges. I am excited to discuss these topics with him. See you in the next episode.